Hello guys, I like cheese, and I like playing games. I am archiving myself, playing these story-driven games as an additional motivation since I always skip and save them for quote-unquote other days, whatever reason I come up with just to not play them. Also because I've been a sucker for live service games for so long that I didn't have the time to play all these great games through the years. Final Fantasy V, wow, this one really surprised me. After my mixed experience with FF4, I wasn't sure what to expect, but FF5 might just be my favorite in the series so far. The story goes deeper, the job system is incredibly refined, and somehow they even made the active time battle system less frustrating. Let's dive into why this game clicked for me in ways FF4 didn't. The story starts with a freaking meteor dropping from the sky. Now that's how you grab attention. We're back to the crystal-focused storyline, but this time it feels way more developed than the basic crystals are in danger plots of earlier games. What really impressed me was how expressive the sprites became. Galuf looks completely different from his overworld sprite. The battle sprites are so much more detailed and expressive, which really helps with the storytelling. But the real surprise was the plot complexity. I initially thought Galuf was going to be another Lunarian from the moon like in FF4, but instead, we get this fascinating concept of split worlds that used to be one. The inclusion of the Void as a central threat feels genuinely new and threatening. And that moment where Galuf dies and gets replaced by Kryl, that's how you do character replacement right. It's integrated into the story naturally, not just swapped out for gameplay convenience like FF4's constant party shuffling. My only real complaint is that the second world feels a bit empty compared to the first. You get the submarine, the dragon, all these cool exploration tools, but it feels like you experience that world too briefly before the worlds merge. Though I'll admit, once the worlds merge, those previously empty areas start to make more sense as part of the bigger picture. The world merging concept is definitely a step up from previous Final Fantasy plots. Now let's talk about the job system. This is where FF5 absolutely shines. They took FF3's job system and perfected it. You still unlock jobs through crystals, but now there's this brilliant ability system where you can learn skills from jobs and carry them over to other classes. The progression feels so much better than FF3. I didn't feel like I was over-leveling everything too quickly, and each job has a clear progression path to mastery. My only wish is that you could equip more than one ability at a time for more mix-and-match potential. Blue Mage is particularly interesting. Learning enemy spells that hit you is such a cool concept. Though I'll be honest, I kept the Learn ability equipped on all 4 characters for most of the game, and I'm still not sure if most of those blue magic spells were actually worth it. The real game changer was discovering that Freelancer and Mime can equip multiple abilities. That completely changes your strategic options and makes them feel like true ultimate jobs rather than just defaults. Here's something that shocked me. I wasn't nearly as frustrated with the active time battle system this time around. I don't know if they improved the system or if FF4's enemies were just that annoying, but combat felt much more fair and manageable. The enemies and bosses definitely have more noticeable gimmicks, and I got wiped out a few times, but it felt like legitimate challenge rather than cheap frustration. Though, I do have to call out those random mobs in the final area. They're ridiculously stronger than previous bosses and don't even give experience. What's the point of that? Fork Tower was a brilliant dungeon design, splitting your party and forcing you to think about party composition. I got unlucky with my physical attackers on the wrong side, but having to adapt my job setup made for interesting strategic decisions. Some random observations, they buff the innate spells on rods, but using them as items breaks them now? Weird balance choice. And what's with all the dancing in towns? I still have no idea if there's a hidden mechanic there. Speaking of dancing, I noticed something weird with the dancer job. Against undead enemies, it almost always uses Jitterbug on auto. Does the game force you to use it against undead? It felt really strange. I'm still underwhelmed by Dragoon, and don't get me started on Chemist. I didn't even bother trying the class. I think it's supposed to be an improved version of Scholar, but On the other hand, Rapid Fire with dual wield is absolutely broken, maybe too strong. And they definitely nerfed Meteor compared to FF4, which is probably for the best since that spell was everywhere in the previous game.
The bosses in FF5 are generally well designed, though they put Reflect on a bunch of end-game bosses as a band-aid solution to counter offensive spells.
Some of these fights have clear weaknesses, but using other strategies makes them way harder than they should be. Gilgamesh is a vibe. Just that. He's such a memorable recurring character. Shinryu, on the other hand, feels too strong. He opens with Tidal Wave for 8,000 damage. I have no idea how to counter that. I ended up skipping him because FF5 had already taken me way longer than the other games and I wanted to progress to FF6. The final boss, Exdeath, is a solid fight with 2 phases. The second phase being multi-target keeps you on your toes, though the combination of dual cast, mimic, quick, and summons feels almost like cheating. You get so many turns, it's ridiculous. A few technical things I noticed. Kryle's battle sprite faces forward instead of the side view like everyone else. Was she an afterthought, or is this intentional? Also, secret passages don't get highlighted anymore automatically, and needed Thief Jobber ability which made exploration more challenging.
All in all, I really love this game. The story is deeper and better than FF4, the job system has improved dramatically, and the characters aren't locked into fixed roles, so I get to play exactly how I want. I haven't even explored everything this game has to offer. There are so many job combinations and strategies I want to try. This definitely warrants another playthrough in the future. The fact that when Galuf died and got replaced by Kryle, I thought all my mastered jobs would be wasted, but they carried over. That's the kind of thoughtful design that makes this game special. FF5 took me longer than any of the previous games, partly due to real-life stuff, but also because the story is just longer and more involved. For now, I'm off to the next world, the world of FF6, which I've heard is more story-driven than ever before. That playthrough might take a while too, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. If you're enjoying this Final Fantasy journey, FF6 is coming next, and from what I've heard, it's going to be quite the experience. Let me know in the comments what your favorite FF5 job combination is. I'd love to hear if you had similar experiences with the job system, or if you managed to figure out how to beat Shinryu without getting obliterated by that opening tidal wave.